All right, guys. Hello. Please let me know if there's a weird audio lag. I might have to switch up my microphone. So just let me know in the chat if you're watching. And if nobody watching and this gets uploaded later, then you'll find out that way, I guess. But anyway, welcome. Actually, I'm going to do a quick test to make sure. Oh, it seems to be working fine here. But this is all messed up. My whole background. So let's fix this. We'll get the website nice and big. Or at least center it here. Put my face on the side. Oh, this works out a lot better than originally intended. Amazing. So, I'm still always just trying to get up to speed with this whole streaming thing. I still don't have it completely figured it out. Maybe this'll help. This might be too big. This might be just too big. Aha. Now I have it figured out, I think. Never actually sure. My background just doesn't want to hang out. Does not want to hang out with me. Alright. So I think this is as good as it's gonna get, to be honest. I'll move myself out of the way so I'm not in the frame. I'll put myself in the top corner. I feel like less is happening up in the top. All right, so we're gonna discuss this whatever the hell this is. All right, so I haven't done a deep dive into this yet, to be honest. So this is new for me. I'm just gonna let people know that the stream is happening. Okay. Turn myself lower. All right, welcome to the Search for the Zone. Here you will find writings, links, and other bits and pieces as we find the time and inclination to post them up. This site is a journal of my and my partner's fascination with multi-dimensional / time travel, dark matter, the afterlife, etc. So you got yourself a whole can of worms right here. We are interested in a lot of the things, but these are the main topics of discussion. So you have the many worlds thing going on, one of those graphics you see anytime you search for, many worlds theory. We will have to reconcile with the question that if someone from outside our familiar world gains access to our plane of existence, what ramifications will that entail? There might be forces at work from the deep dimensional space or from the future, or are these one and the same? I guess a little nod there. The funny thing about, we'll get into this, but this website actually cracks me up for reasons besides this this stuff, and besides the fact that it looks like it was made in 1995. All right, where was I? All right, I'll just reread it. We will have to reconcile with the question that if someone from outside our familiar world gains access to our plane of existence, what ramifications will that entail? There might be forces at work from deep dimensional space, got our aliens, or from the future, also possibly aliens, or, you know, beings that don't really, that live outside the realm of linear time. By the way, we're going to have a guest hopefully later. If I could get it, you know, set up, we'll have my friend Harold chime in. He's really good with this stuff, so stay tuned for when he steps in. Are these one and the same? I love that. Think of the events that could have splintered time, the things that could have laid the seed. Some more, you know, reference to what we're seeing in the show. For a starting point for this development, perhaps technological innovations or the assassination of President Kennedy. So this one paragraph has so much referential stuff, so much stuff we've dealt with on the show. Besides, like, the obvious quote, "Are these one and the same?" or "from the future," it's just like very, you know, hesitant, a little bit cynical. And all right, think of the events that could have splintered time. It seems like we got that obvious. It's obviously the atom bomb test. That's the one event that we've seen on screen so far. That he's talking about. Going into sort of Doctor Who terminology, I feel like this is sort of similar to their fixed point kind of thing. The fixed point in time. You see the Kennedy assassination. This was a staple in time. This could have caused a rift. It's just like this pure evil that just, you know, took place, inhabited our world, you know, made it, sort of opened it to that realm of, you know, calamity and evil. This is just one example that he gives. I mean, if you guys that are watching now have other things that you think could contribute to this splintering of time, the thing is with this, what things before the atom bomb could have caused this sort of fracture in reality? Because with the Red Lodge, we know that from reading The Secret History of Twin Peaks, that it seems like the Black Lodge and the White Lodge have been around since, who knows, maybe a couple thousand years ago. Before that, it seems like they've always been there, but maybe not so recently have they've been able to commune and move between worlds. No audio? You don't hear audio? Hey Ted, I hear audio on my end. Anybody else can't hear audio? Let me know. Please let me know in the chat if you could hear me. Might have to fix some stuff. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna read a couple one of the comments from Ted. He's been a viewer for a little while. Mixed dinner parties of ladies and gentlemen are very rare, which is a great defect in society, not only depriving them of the most social and hospitable manner of meeting. I can hear. Gordon, a little bit of Gordon Cole there. I could do a pretty good Gordon Cole impression, but I'm not gonna do it here. Probably blow out the microphone. Then you really won't hear. Everybody's ears will be bleeding. So Yeah, Ted, that's a good point. There's so many, I'm not sure what it it might be something like that. Um, I'm curious if you guys have any theories of things that might have, ripped open the that reality to let them through initially. I wonder you know, what human, I don't know if it has to be human, if it's like a meteor strike, what some kind of great disaster or calamity that does it, or does it have to be, willed by people? I'm not sure you know, what it is. Mentine Mentine Coma says, "What do you think? It's the deal. What do you think the deal with Diane?" Um, this is a tough one because I feel like there's a lot of I feel like it goes to a dark place. I'm not sure what happened with her and Doppel Cooper, because it seems like maybe they had a good rapport before. They were really good friends. I mean, I imagine that they're really good friends, but hmm, interesting, Ted. Interesting. Uh, I'm not. I'm not sure. I mean, I hope not. I don't know if we're getting into that in Twin Peaks, to be honest. Um, Diane clearly in cahoots with Cooper. Oh, I got you. I got you. That's a quote. Interesting. Is Diane in cahoots with Cooper? I feel like I don't know. Maybe we didn't get the entire scene. I don't think we got the entire scene when she encountered Doppel Cooper. Or maybe something happened before, the return. Maybe 25 years ago that set this whole dinner thing in place. The text she got, which I mean, you could assume is from Doppel Cooper. I've never heard these quotes before. These are pretty interesting. I think Laura Palmer knew something. I definitely think Francine. I definitely think she knew something. Um, Laura was into some. I mean, she was all over the map. I actually just. I know I'm late to the party, but a couple of weeks ago, I actually finished Secret Diary of Laura Palmer for the first time, and I love that book. I think if you're gonna, I think if you decide to watch Twin Peaks, you should be gifted that book as soon as you finish the show and the movie. I'm interested to see or to talk with somebody that's read the book before they've seen the show or the movie or this new season. I just want to sort of perform these experiments um, on how people digest the show. Hey Matt, what's up? Have you read the theory about the colors of Diane's clothes? I haven't. Um, you mean like all the red? Because I know she's been wearing. I mean, as far as I remember, she's been wearing a lot of red. Care to share? Because I'm curious. I love me some theories, no matter how far flung they are. Um, let's see. Yeah, Laura Palmer falling from space. That's a good image. It's Fire. Francine says in Fire Walk with Me, she and Donna started chatting, and Donna asked Laura, "If you fell from space, would you go slowly or fall fast?" I remember. That's actually one of my favorite scenes, and now it seems to be have so much more weight than it initially did. I mean, it was a good scene, it was a good quote back then, but now it seems to have actual like practical practical implications in the show. Or says, "I think you'd fall faster and faster." I love the callbacks. I wonder how much of this was left over from the original run, how much to you I feel like Mark Frost and David Lynch went back and watched these and pulled things apart that they thought were brilliant, that might not have had like purpose before. I think we saw that a lot with Secret History of Twin Peaks. They went back and, you know, picked things out and embellished on things and changed things and, you know, added a lot. And I feel like they did the same thing with the previous series, because it's been a while. Who knows how much they've actually explored it since, how much they've thought about it. So maybe they've heard these quotes and actually sort of, you know, that's a good. I could just see David at least going, oh, that's beautiful, like kind of forgetting about it and coming back to it and wanting that to be part of the return. So it's really interesting. Thank you guys for joining, by the way. This is cool. Would help you until you'd explode, and the angels wouldn't help you because they're gone. These are good quotes. And then we all know from watching Fire Walk with Me that we have the angel at the end, which I'm still strapped to figure out what that was. Is that Laura being saved? And if we're in the linear timeline, which is sort of not even a thing, does that take place? I mean, I know they made that without knowing there would be a return. So was that supposed to be Laura's sort of mini epilogue? Or who knows? I still don't really understand what that is, and especially now, it doesn't seem really, you know, it doesn't seem to really make sense. Secret Diary of Laura Palmer is awesome. It is. I really need to reread it again because I do want to make a video discussing it. And the thing about the Secret Diary is her relationship with Bob seems so much more. It's less in the series. Bob is just very, you know, he doesn't really speak much. He doesn't seem very. I mean, like he has much going on up here, but in the book, she has conversations with Bob in her head, and you just start to understand what Bob wants, not needs, what he wants, and it's terrifying, and it's so thing with Bob. I believe it was Albert who said maybe Bob is just the evil that men do, and it seems like that is the absolute truth. And I don't know if Bob is. I mean, Bob does seem like sort of, especially with this whole mother of abominations or mother or whatever you want to call it, mother of all others. The thing that spewed the. Some people are calling Garmonbosia. It looked like sort of like a foam thing with all the little eggs in it. Bob seems very human in his you know, he's like the most debased primal form of a human. He just wants and wants, but he seems a little too human based to be sort of the celestial thing. At least, you know, I finished reading the book before the return came out, and it seemed like he was just like very like a very earthly character. He's sort of like the worst version of something. You never. I mean, I don't know. Bob might be. I didn't think about this, but Bob might be of a doppelganger or someone that survived. But we know now that like only one has to stay in while the other goes out. Maybe this whole thing happened a while ago, and maybe the evil doppelganger of Bob survived, and that's who we see now. This is the worst version of somebody. That's what I thought before the return, and now I don't know. It seems like Bob was created for a purpose, or just created out of something. I mean, he is I guess, a result of the atom bomb. But I don't know. I guess that still would make him earthly in a way, but whatever that thing that spewed him out, I wonder what that is, what that's from. Is that like a god kind of thing? I really don't know. All right, so here's Mean Teen Coma with the theory. I'm gonna read it out loud to the stream. So when we first see Diane, she's wearing a dress with 3-pronged color bursts: white, green, and red. In alchemy, the transmutation stages go black to white to yellow to red, red being the ultimate goal of an enlightened magician. Interesting. I've heard this before. Green is referenced in more obscure texts as being unrefined or unclean mercury, parentheses white, that must be redeemed during calcination. Also interesting. In The Alchemist, this is the false identity or poisoning ego that fights desperately for its survival but must be devoured in the flames of a higher consciousness. See, this is right up the Twin Peaks alley. This is like straight up Fire Walk with Me kind of stuff. Francine Teal, David Lynch is taking us for a very wild ride. Yes, he is. And actually, I feel like if anybody is super loving The Return, I know there's some people that are not loving it, but I'm absolutely loving it. You guys should definitely pick up. This is not a plug, obviously, but you guys should definitely pick up Catching the Big Fish. I'm almost done with it, but I feel like there's so many themes in this that definitely are apparent in this new season. He's trying to teach us something. I mean, he does that with all his movies in a way. He's trying to, shock and awe and mystify, but he's also trying to teach us something. And he's heavy into consciousness and creativity and all that stuff. So if you haven't read Catching the Big Fish yet, I suggest you do. I'm almost done with it. It's fantastic. It's blowing my mind a little bit. David Lynch isn't a fantastic writer, which is why Mark Frost deserves so many more props than he gets. I love Mark Frost, especially on Twitter. he's amazing on Twitter. Let's see. Francine Teal says, "Do you think the insect thing went into the mouth of a young Sarah Palmer?" I think it is Sarah. I don't know. I feel like Sarah. I don't know. I haven't really thought about this bug thing in depth enough. I think it is. I think that young girl is Sarah. I don't know if that young boy was Leland. You could go on so many weird tangents with this. She might have. I don't remember Sarah's origin too much. I know she was touched on a little bit in The Secret History of Twin Peaks, but I'm not absolutely sure. I think that is young Sarah. I really do. I know, and I know the time lines. The time makes sense from when she would have married and had Laura. So yeah, I think that is Sarah. I don't think the boy is Leland. Some people think it's Bob. I'm not sure if Bob grew up like everybody else. This is a whole thing. Has Bob always just been sort of an adult spirit, or did he grow up and become evil? Is that mother of all others sort of like the anti-giant or question mark, whatever the hell his name is now? It seems like almost like a celestial battle going on, like a battle, and Earth is like ground zero for it because we're so, I don't know. I feel like the thing is we have a lot of strength. There's like we see that in Dale. There's a lot of good and evil. There's a lot of duality. Of course, it's a little more complicated than that. But I feel like maybe the giant is sort of like a groundskeeper, watching the universe, making sure that the yin and the yang is still, correct. He wants to make sure there's balance. He's not necessarily a good guy, but he wants to make sure that there is no absolutes. And I think that's what it is. Or it's the old, the Jedi thing. Don't deal in absolutes. There is no absolutes. That kind of thing. I think him and the other mother, I don't know what they called her, the lady with the golden hair that kissed the glowing Laura Ball. I think they're there to sort of keep the peace, more or less, or just keep things even. And it seems like Laura was sort of and I guess Cooper, the anti-Bob. maybe she was the beginning of she's the beginning of the end for him. And Cooper probably was just even more was a monkey wrench. I'm not sure where Cooper's origin is, if he's pure like human. He seems very much in tune with these worlds, so I feel like maybe he is something else. I think the giant, aka Fireman, don't seem bothered. He doesn't. He's very stoic. He feels. I mean, when that alarm goes off in part 8, he seems a little disturbed, or what's the word I'm looking for? He seems a little cautious, a little caught off guard, or a little upset, maybe. I mean, his look, it's almost like a Mona Lisa kind of thing. You can't really tell what he's actually thinking. But I feel like he's there as, I think he's a groundskeeper, or like you say, a fireman. He's known as a fireman now. Put out the fire. He's not there like to rebuild your house, but he'll put out the fire, which I think is a very good point to make. What do you think the ring is for? Asks Mean Teen Coma. The rings. Oh my god. The rings. I'm not sure. The rings are a tricky thing, because I feel like I definitely need to deep dive into the rings a little bit more. The rings, I thought I understood what the rings were at one point, but since the return, it seems like, I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. The rings are a little bit lost on me currently, and there's not a lot of heavy ring stuff going on. There was that thing with Dougie with the ring and it fell off, but it seems like maybe just sort of a nod when people have the rings, sort of like a secret society kind of thing. But of course, people have fake rings, so it's. I mean, there's the Formica table. There's I believe there's jade, maybe an emerald ring. I'm not positive. I don't remember all the rings, so if somebody remembers, it'd be great if you share what like the types of rings that we know are out there. I know. Invitation to Love, actually, this is a cool fun fact. There's a character in that named Jade and her twin named Emerald. So I'm wondering if the Jade we see in the show has a twin named Emerald. I feel like she's been gone a little bit. Maybe she was just there to get Dougie on his way, or Cooper. So I wish we could see a little bit more of Jade. I feel like Nafessa Williams is a cool actress, and I'd love to see her play a bigger role. But I think that might be, she might be done for now. Agent Desmond disappeared when he found the ring. This is true. I really hope we see Agent Desmond again, because I feel like he's an interesting character. I love how suave he was, and knowledgeable. Maybe he was too knowledgeable. Maybe he had been dipping his toes too far into the pool also by the time he got there. What was I going to say? I feel like Desmond is coming back. Maybe he is also colluding with Jeffries. Maybe he was before. Maybe he was Albert's. I don't know. I feel like Desmond was in too deep also. We don't know that much about him, but I'm getting the sense that he knew way more than he let on, to be honest. Tim says Batcoop's text messages was written in lowercase. Dan receives the text in all caps. If there is an in-between, who might it be? It's possible it was I think maybe the dude in Las Vegas, the business guy in Vegas, maybe forwarded it to her. I feel like there's like a little network of people, and maybe what Cooper was talking about, doing the thing, it better be done before, I call again. Maybe that's what he meant. Because I feel like Diane knows what that means. I feel like she's heard it before, but I'm not totally sure. I feel like maybe it was the Las Vegas dude. So happy you're doing this. I've been wanting to do this for a little while, but but I haven't yet. But I'm glad you guys are watching. I'm glad you guys are here, actually watching and enjoying. Keep the chat lively. You guys are keeping this going. I love hearing little insights and fun facts and theories and stuff. Fuels me, and then I could shoot stuff off of you guys. Yeah, but the text messages, I'm part of that Twin Peaks Facebook group. If you guys are in that, I saw somebody post something about that there. I mean, it could also be sort of like a flub, because I mean, I don't think so, because these I feel like a lot of these scenes are very, especially when Lynch directs, they're very focused and everything is intentional. Hey, from Mexico, what's up? Oh, we have two people from Mexico. Cool. I've never been to Mexico. Glad you guys are enjoying the stream and the return. We only have 9 episodes left, guys. It's kind of upsetting. It's a little upsetting, but I feel like things are gonna get really, really crazy soon. Francine says, "I don't know what to make of Dougie." You mean Cooper, or actual Dougie, like the fake Dougie? I'm in the Seattle area. I love Seattle. I might be going soon. If I can get press passes to PAX West, I will be going to Seattle. So that'd be cool. I haven't been there in a long. Cooper. Okay. So if you guys didn't watch my part 9 review, I actually touched on this a little bit. I feel like everybody's gonna find out about Cooper sort of at the same time. I don't know what episode it's gonna be. Hopefully it's a little bit before the last one. I don't want us to have Cooper sort of back to his old self. I know he's not going to be back to his, old self from the 90s. He's 25 years older. He's been in the Black Lodge this whole time. But I hope we get Cooper back sort of the way, like Cooper. I hope Cooper, his personality inhabits him, and we see the Cooper we know and love again. What to make of Mike? I feel. This is the whole Mike stuff with Mike. I feel like the Black Lodge is definitely falling apart. It's becoming weaker. Maybe less Garmonbosia going around, since Mike sort of swore off of it, and Bob is just out there, doing his own thing. And maybe the Garmonbosia is running out. The arm can't really do anything because it's a tree. There's also the doppelganger arm who needs to just chill out, because the whole I love that thing, but one arm Mike, I don't know. We haven't seen him since that Don't Die thing. Black Lodge or waiting room. I personally think the Black Lodge is yet to be seen, says James. I've thought about this too, and you're probably right. The red room or the waiting room is definitely the fire, the fire walk, and I think that's where that phrase comes from. Fire walk with me, and I think that's what the waiting room in the red room is. It's this fire walk to the end, to your fate, to your ultimate end. Are you going to face it with absolute courage and move into the White Lodge or heaven, or whatever you call it? Not that they're the same in this universe, but I guess they sort of have their similarities. Or the Black Lodge, which is, you can imagine, sort of like the pit of hell. Because I feel like people are stuck in the waiting room. But then the whole thing with Garmonbosia, how does that fit in? Why is that a thing at all? If you assume that people are trying to get to the White Lodge, I mean, for the most part, and I guess Bob and Mike are stuck there, and I guess the Giant or the Fireman or question mark man sort of can move through that stuff now. I'm not sure if that was the original intention when the show first came out. I don't know. It's a little confusing. It's still trying to digest it and figure it out. But of course, it's going to be a little difficult to figure out because who knows how much is actually real. Karina says, I think Dougie is or was only there as a red herring. I think Bat Cooper created him in order for it to be difficult to find him and difficult for Cooper to find his way back. It's probably true. Probably true. Francine says the whole space where good, black, or white is so gray. It is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. That's the thing. It's so vague what these lodges go by and what they, consider good or bad or, all that stuff. James says, I personally think Fire Walk With Me is very much a corruptive poke. Imagine the White Lodge feeds on happiness and pleasure. This is also true. Maybe they're not. Neither of them are, a good thing. Although I feel like Briggs, when he went to the White Lodge, had good things to say about it. But of course, everything needs to live and survive. I guess if they're not sort of this celestial being that can that's just pure energy and doesn't need any sort of resource to survive. Al says, if you disappear, I will not say a word to the feds. Thanks. I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe I'll end up between two worlds, or in a cell with a weird woodsman that goes flying off. Also, what do you guys think of the woodsman? I still don't have any real theories about what they are. I know they sort of results from the blast, more or less, and I know there's some history there, especially I believe. Now I know people have found coordinates on this website to. I'm not sure how. Here we go. These coordinates. I want to make sure. I just opened up the same page. I think Mike is only doing what is convenient for him. He lives in between good and the bad. You're right. I think you're definitely right. Mike is he's a lost soul, I think. I think he's just a lost soul. Maybe he's trying to redeem himself with Cooper now, because he knows that he's sort of by himself because Bob is a lunatic and he's only for himself. Apparently they used to be friends, Mike and Bob, but I guess Bob abandoned him though. The woodsman seemed to be made of electronic substance. Francine, you're probably right. I think so, especially with the whole convenience store scene and the electric shocks, and they were sort of popping in and out. Really, I love that scene. First of all, that's like pure Lynch, but I think you're definitely right about that. Random thought, says James. Is question mark man is more neutral than White Lodgian, Grey Lodge realm of non-existence. It seems so. I mean, it seems like they live in that purple water world, almost like in that Azkaban tower. And this is where Cooper was in the first episode, I believe. He was in this room, so I don't know when that takes place. I'm assuming before everything, linearly, because of all the sort of, clues that the fireman or the giant, I'm going to call him the giant for old time's sake, the giant gives him. So Cooper has spoken to the giant in this place before. So Cooper's been to the waiting room or the Black Lodge, whatever it is, and also to whatever this place, that realm of non-existence, the gray area. Gray Lodge. I like that, Gray Lodge. So that's definitely, it's black and white. Let's see. What are other people saying in the chat? Mike tries to warn people against Bob. This is true. But as far as I remember, they were colluding together. They did cause a lot of bad together before that. And I think that's when Gerard cuts off his arm to try to get rid of that. I believe. I'm not absolutely sure. But then Mike sort of tries to change his ways, and he realizes Bob is reckless and doesn't really have any sort of code. He just wants and wants and wants, and that's it. There's no rhyme or reason, and he causes chaos and destruction. It's actually causing more harm than good. I think that's what the deal is. And Mike realizes that, and he doesn't want to be a part of that. You think Mike and his arm are really entirely separate entities? I think maybe they're linked in some way, but I feel like they're separate now. Matt says the piece of paper from Briggs has the same symbol as Mr. C's Ace of Spades. Piece of paper also mentions Jackrabbit's palace, a name Bobby gave a place near Major Briggs's compound. This is true. Could Bobby have seen the symbol at this place and remarked in childlike wonder that this visage looked like a jackrabbit? I think you're onto something here. What do you think the symbol is or represents? I think you're onto it. We all thought it maybe was the mother of all others with the little horns, but it might be a jackrabbit because it does have that sort of round face. And I know when you draw rabbits, they have a round face and like sort of the floppy little ears. So it might be just the symbol for that location. That location might have more important. Hey Joey, it's me, your cousin. Hey Aiden, what's up? But yeah, I think it might be a jackrabbit. I think that's exactly what it is, to be honest. I mean, don't take my word for it, but I think that's what it is. I feel like we're dabbling in alchemy. This is good. I mean, we might be totally wrong, Al, but I feel like this is good. This is what makes this show so much fun, that you could just play around and discuss this for hours, days, lives, lifetimes. Bobby Briggs definitely knows something, says Francine. I think he does. Maybe he doesn't even. Maybe he's not aware of what he knows. Older Bobby seems a lot more keen, and he probably definitely saw some things that maybe he didn't understand when he was younger because he was such a punk. I mean, I love Bobby. I love younger Bobby too, even though he was a drug dealer and crazy. But I think that was Laura's fault. But yeah, I think Bobby knows something, and if at least he knows stuff loosely. He doesn't have the full picture, but I think he knows things. And sees Truman and Firewalk me. He's chasing Leland and Laura in the car and tells Laura that Leland is the killer. Yeah, it's your father. I remember this. I think at that point is when Mike was already angry at Bob. I think that's already after this whole Mike versus Bob thing. When Mike approaches Leland in that scene, we hear the man from another place's characteristic sound. What's up with that? Well, that's the thing. They're under that same intersection that the little boy dies in I forgot what part it is, but the one that Horne hits with his truck, that's the same intersection. And in the beginning of Fire Walk with Me, that's the one that the trailer park manager, he also sort of has that weird like far off look in his eye, and then they cut to that pan of the electric pole. That electricity pole is very significant. There's a lot of history there. So I think that is like I think actually going back to this, I think that is one of those splintering realities, time things. I think it is splintering time. I think the trauma of what happens in this intersection is very important. It seems like just like a stupid intersection, but I think it is one of these sort of very heavy points in the universe or on Earth that causes a lot of things to fall through. James, I have read The Secret History, but I definitely need to reread it. What's up with Crazy Ike? I think he's just sort of like a merc. I don't know. He's just a hitman. I don't think he's anything special. He doesn't seem to have I don't know if he's working with Jeffries or if he's working for Jeffries through Cooper. I wonder if I'm curious to see if he has any connection with Jeffries, because it'd be interesting to see an interrogation scene with him and him spill sort of the guts about Jeffries. What's up with the humming sound in Horne's office and the amber lamps? I feel like that might be another electricity sound. So something paying attention, maybe something coming through, possibly. I don't know. It seems like definitely like another sound, obviously. It is a very electrical sound, I think. Let me know if I'm wrong about this, but I also remember seeing something about the sound being sort of a sound used for healing or sound used for therapy or some sort of tone that helps people think. I'm not absolutely sure which it is, what that tone specifically does, but I feel like it's definitely something that you could definitely look up, probably figure out what what kind of tone that is, what the wattage or the hertz of that tone is, and probably search that level up, because I know Lynch loves it's part of meditation. I've actually done research about this. You could search for playlists on Spotify with this sort of these sort of tones that help with healing or help with stress. There's these certain kinds of tones that are supposed to do specific things, help you with specific things in your mind, and I think that tone is one of them. Back to work. You gotta work. All right, Francine, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your input. You've been great. Matt says maybe Horns will discover Audrey's hiding place in the walls, looking to find that humming sound. I was thinking that too. That would be pretty funny if she just sort of, is pranking her father and his new employee to try to sort of get them. You know what? Maybe I'm starting to come to me. Maybe this maybe the tone has something to do with why Ben won't make the moves on this attractive employee of his. I forget her name, but I feel like maybe that tone is sort of evening him out, sort of like negating the negative thoughts. So maybe this isn't an implant by somebody, maybe Jacoby or something, although Jacoby seems to be off the rails a little bit in a good way, because that freaking dig yourself out of the shit sketch was hysterical. Ashley Judd's character, correct? Yeah, thanks, Matt. I think that tone is definitely. I'm starting to think of it now. It just came to me that. See you later, Al. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. See you in the trees. I need to get some coffee. This is good. This is good. I like this. UFOs. It is UFOs. It's always UFOs. It's always aliens. Always aliens. But I think that tone definitely is something that maybe negated that sort of negative thought or negative. I think that's might be what it is. I have to figure out what that tone is, that what it relates to, because I feel like maybe that's what made him resist the urge to make a move on that character, on Ashley Judd's character. So that'd be interesting. Maybe that's what it is, and I wonder who's putting it there and why. Maybe it's, interdimensional. Possible. So, you guys have any other input? Or we could go through this. For that matter, what James says, for that matter, where the hell is Audrey? Also, does anyone remember when she left to meet JJW? Then turns around in suspense and is never addressed. Jerry's foot. Oh, that was... I think I'm behind. It's going to be hysterical if Jerry's just lost in the woods for the rest of the season. Jerry's definitely one of my favorite characters that I wish I could see more. I mean, if they're going to do a spin-off of anybody, they should definitely do old Jerry as a sitcom. That would be great. Just him by himself, high as shit in the woods. All right. So, yeah, this is great. Reading links, parallel universes, density shifting. It's a lot of quantum physics stuff on electricity. Hey Rosenfield, I just checked out. Hey guys, if you guys want to see some other cool Twin Peaks videos, check out Rosenfield's channel. He has a lot of good stuff. Maybe Audrey is with JJW. It's possible. Who knows where they live? I mean, it seems like Audrey's probably paralyzed. And we know she survived, but after a blast like that, it has to leave some repercussions. I know Sherilyn Fenn expressed some displeasure with the way Audrey's shown this season. So I'm wondering what that happens. Also, any thoughts on the scene with the chick with the rash? The chick with the rash. Sky Ferreira. I love Sky Ferreira, by the way. If you guys should check out her music. It was weird to see her like that. The chick with the rash, though. I wonder if she's somebody's daughter. I don't know. I was waiting to see Sky Ferreira. I thought she would just be in it as a musical act, but turns out she actually is somebody. This is crazy, Joey. It's fun. I dig this. Thank you guys for watching again. Okay, Corna said, do you think Mike and his arm are separate entities? If it's true, what Mike says, that he cut his arm off because he felt guilty of the things he had done before, and the arm is the guilt. I mean, that it does make sense. I know because he had the tattoo on that arm. He also cut it off. He thought that was linked to it. But it seems like Mike can still be inhabited by Mike, or Philip Gerard could be inhabited by Mike, who look the same. They look the same. There is no like separate Mike, which I always thought was weird because it can be a little confusing. There's Mike and then there's Gerard, and they're the same person. I'm wondering if Eddie Vedder will perform at the Roadhouse or play a character. I'm curious about that too. Initially, I thought maybe he was going to replace Frank Silva as Bob. I mean, maybe they will do some stuff like that. Maybe they won't show his face. I really don't know. What are your thoughts on Amanda Seyfried's character being a conduit or vessel for Laura Palmer's spirit? See, thanks for the question, James. I didn't actually think about that. She definitely seems, I don't know. I feel like maybe she hasn't dealt with Amanda Seyfried's character. I think she is a lot more pure than Laura Palmer. I don't think she's as strong as Laura was. I think she's playing at, this bad girl kind of thing because of her boyfriend, who seems to be kind of a jerk. And we saw the scene where he tries to get a job with grown-up Mike, other Mike, Bobby's friend Mike, and he straight out rejects him. I think, of course, he's going to be a bad influence, but I think her character is. I mean, Shelly's her mom also, so I feel like she can only go so far. She doesn't have a father that is sort of a lunatic and inhabited by a demon, and a mother who's seems strung out all the time because the father's crazy. So Amanda Seyfried, I don't see her as like, I see her as almost like the anti Laura. Laura was abused and like all this. She was tried to redeem herself. She did drugs to try to make herself seem dirty and all this stuff. But I think we have Amanda Seyfried's character, which I don't remember the name exactly. We've only seen her once, but I don't know. I think she's she's not the anti-Laura, but she's sort of the antithesis to Laura. She's trying to be all these things when she comes from probably a good home, I imagine. Shelly, I can't see Shelly being a terrible mother. I think she's Bobby's daughter. Look at her BF. I would love to have Shelly and Bobby have Amanda Seyfried's character. That would be great. I loved Shelly and Bobby together in the original series. I didn't like Bobby as a character until like you saw him with Shelly and you see how much of a good person he really is, and was probably corrupted by Laura's quest to save herself in a way. Rosenfield says, "Yep, James may be onto something." Bob and Steven. I don't know. See, I feel like these younger people, these new people are sort of almost like clay models or just plastic versions of the people that dealt with the actual, terrible distress. Leland apparently had been, possessed by Bob since he was 12. So I can't see the Leland doing anything at a young age that, that provoked that kind of intrusion. But Leland wasn't as strong as his daughter. And I feel like Laura only did those things to try to, she was trying to be strong, which is why she went down that path. She was trying to do what she thought would work to fend off this like evil that was just constantly after her. Bob. Becky Burnett. So maybe she's not Bobby's daughter. Matthew Carina says Matthew Lillard was amazing. I'm glad that his role is key to the whole mystery. Me too. I actually love Matthew Lillard. Besides playing Shaggy, I think he's a really solid actor. What's the SLC Punk? He was really good in when he was younger. I'm really glad to see him in this like crazy role in Twin Peaks, and I'm glad it's sort of expanding, and we got to see more of him. Shelly was a goddess character. Gordon could hear her to transform Bobby from a drug-fueled killer under Laura's influence. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Shelly is a beacon, I think. Really, I mean, she was in danger of becoming like Bobby because of Leo, who was also probably screwed up and ruined as a young person, and by power and greed and money. But Shelly and Bobby found each other despite being with these two terrible people. Laura probably has a better reason for her terribleness. Not to say that what she did was great, but she had, she was doing it in spite of what was happening to her. But Bobby and Shelly came together and got themselves away from these terrible, these terrible situations, these poison situations, and found each other, and at least during the original series, seemed to be genuinely happy and would do almost anything for each other. So that's why I really like their relationship. They both were strong characters, and I think we're seeing that with Bobby now, how much he's actually like his father ultimately. And that whole scene with the before the chair, and Bobby's mother telling him about like his father not losing faith in him. I think that was really moving. I really love that scene. James says, I want to see Leo again. I want to see him beat the shit out of Richard Horne in prison. That would be hysterical. I mean, apparently David Lynch handpicked dude that's playing Richard Horne. I mean, and he looks so devilish. I know a lot of people, a lot of the ladies have a crush on him. He has that bad boy look, but his character is just so reckless and evil. It's terrible. I hope we don't find out that he's sort of the bastard son of Doppel Cooper. I mean, I feel like that might be what it is, but I really hope not. Karina said the chick from the rash reminded me the other chick that was living in the house with the kid where Dougie was with the prostitute. Was that the same house? I don't think that was the same house. Oh, right. Becky's boyfriend is Stephen Burnett, so Becky's married. Bobby could still be her father. Right, correct. I'm sorry. I missed that. So, yeah, probably. I really hope so. We haven't seen Bobby or Shelly together. They haven't talked about each other, really. We've seen Shelly talk more about James. James has always been cool. The chick from the rash reminded me of the other chick. I don't know if... Were they in the same house? I feel like the house where Dougie and Jade were was a separate house. Because the house that the chick, the druggy chick was across the street from where Janie E and Sonny Jim live. I believe that's like Dougie's actual block. So I don't think that's across the street. I don't think that was the same house. So I really hope that Becky is Bobby's daughter. But then again, if it is Bobby's daughter, I would feel like since he's a cop, shouldn't he be a little bit better about that stuff? And as I'm saying that, I realize how Bobby's father was. He wasn't always there because he was, needed because of Project Blue Book. So how long have we haven't? Just you and I. Beautiful, right? How long have we been going now? This is a nice long stream, you guys. I hope everybody's enjoying. We've been going for over an hour. That's nuts. We didn't even really touch on the website. This is crazy. Danielle says, I don't want Richard to be Doppel Cooper's son either. I'm holding out hope that he's Donna's son or something since she's technically a Horne. You're right. I didn't think of that. I know she doesn't really want to consider herself a Horne, but she is technically a Horne. Mean Teen Coma says, I'm pretty sure that Red comes from the Lodge. He seems to be one of these magicians who attempt to force interaction between the two worlds. You might be right. I think you meant Ray, right? I think you meant Ray. I think that's what his name is. Ray? Is it Red or is it Ray? Do you plan on doing this live chit chat again? I would like to. If you guys plan on joining again. Gamer Dude Bro says, everybody hit the like button for my best buddy Joey. Smash that like button. Yeah, I definitely want to do it again. I got to figure out a date and time. Maybe I'll do my review of part 10 and then maybe the day after do something like this. I do want to go over the Secret Diary of Laura Palmer. I might have a friend join for that. Did that guy on Reddit actually get the coordinates from the bottom of the Search Zone website? Actually, yes, because I actually just found out. I just found where he got it from. You go down to the bottom of the website. there's this like area in black. If you hover over it, the coordinates are there. Matt. So check that out. So, all right, so maybe maps will take us there. That's not what I want. How do I search coordinates? North Arlington, New Jersey. Okay. Sure. Right is the guy who does the coin trick. Yeah, that's what I figured. Open Google Maps. Here are examples. I'm having trouble with this. I don't know what the hell's going on. Red is the guy who does the coin trick. Yep. And he intimidates Richard. That's what causes him to go. And see that scene with the kid still gets me. I don't know if it was warranted, but I mean it was a very heart-wrenching but also very beautiful scene. So I feel like David Lynch is one of the few directors that could pull something like that off for real, because it's just really harsh. Some guy on Reddit said he had lived 30 miles from there and that he was gonna go. I haven't heard anything either. I honestly have not been on the Reddit thread in a little bit, in a while. We're doing this live, so why not check? Right? Battle for the Internet. Yes, everybody, make sure you go to that website, battleforthenet.com, and fight this, fight this thing, because it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't need my internet throttled by the FCC. Streaming for 1 hour. This is my record for watching a live person. I'm glad. Oh, this is cute. David Lynch drops hints that Twin Peaks might be coming back. And here we are. So this is a live Reddit. Some Game of Thrones talks. Okay. Very suggestive evidence that Frost was inspired by Grant's Mauve Zone mythology. That'd be interesting to look into. Hey Matt, if you could send me a link to that thread, that would be great. That would be great. In the Office Space voice. That'd be great. Let's see. I don't know where it is. Remember Sarah Palmer's message for the Major at the end of season 2. Let's look into this. I don't remember this. James, he did earlier on. That was an old post. He did drop hints like 2014, 2013. Look to see spoiler. Don't click to spoil. Too late. I don't think it's really a spoiler. This is season 2 stuff. Message from Sarah Palmer at the RR and answers, but why is Sarah Palmer the messenger? Correct. I didn't think about this. This is a good point about like Sarah being sort of in tune with everything. Who is sending the message? Earl, Jeffries, Bob, Yarm, Laura. Why is she waiting for Briggs? I didn't think about this. I forgot about this scene completely. and they are the publisher of this post is right. Briggs was definitely the whole thing in Secret History of Twin Peaks. We knew Briggs was going to be a very big part. I mean, I thought Briggs. You didn't see it yet. You get to it. Get to it. Go watch Twin Peaks immediately. Does anybody have any other theories? All right, Grand Rapids City area lore. This little goofy but always nice. I feel like there's a lot of deep dives in here. Oh look. This is what I was talking about with the. I don't think this link works, but maybe it does. No. Let's see. Deleted the site. I wonder if they deleted it after getting like a crazy amount of traffic. I really wish I could find the frequency that Jerry Horne was talking about, and I feel like that this blog post probably would have had some stuff. Maybe this is a Reddit thread. Duncan Todd has one more chance to get Dougie. Will he hire? I say the Mitchum brothers. We'll see. I feel like maybe nobody's gonna be able to get Dougie. He has those sweet karate moves. It appears Diane visited the guest book some time ago. Are you people crazy? There is no effing zone. F you in the spaceship you rode on. Look, the coordinates in the second tree at the bottom of the page. Oh. I love Reddit. Second tree. Oh. What is this? Oh, it's just an advertisement for the CD, which all of this is. It's just a big advertisement for the CDs. Which, of course, being the sucker that I am, I will get all of them. But yeah, let's see. Subscribe to the. Oh yeah, this is to get all the Twin Peaks stuff. Let's see. I think I could open this in the browser. I know it's just sounds. Electrical interference. All right, guys. I think maybe we'll come back to this on another day. Already an hour in. So thank you all for joining. Maybe we'll do another deep dive like this another day. Thank you guys for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, always do that so you can make sure you get the other videos and know when we go live next time. And you know, this is super exciting. Look out for the review, episode 10 review this Sunday. And I shall see you guys next time. Thank you again for joining, everybody that did and everybody who contributed to the conversation. You guys are great. Thank you all. I shall see you very soon.